Hello, I'm Professor Ken Hardy, and I'm here with Ms. Barbara Stymiest, who is a graduate of the Richard Ivey School of Business. Over the years, she's exercised major leadership roles throughout Canada's financial industries, for which she's been well acknowledged many times by her professional associations and by her alma mater, who last year honored her with an honorary Doctor of Laws. Coincidentally, that last year was the year she stopped working full-time at RBC, but just before she accepted the chair at Research in Motion. Barbara, what is it that draws you to all these leadership positions?
I think certainly what I learned at Ivey has stood me in good stead, and I think that fundamentally I like to make change happen. And I think you have the greatest influence in being a change agent when you're in a leadership role. So it is about making companies better, countries better, not-for-profit agencies better, and I've loved the leadership roles that I've had.
Do you pick them because that you can see the change that's needed, for instance TSX or RIM or any of these, or does it just happen that once you're there that you can see that the changes?
I think it's more the latter. I do think it's once you're there, you see the change that's necessary, because I don't think anything stays still in the world we live in today. There's always going to be competitive challenges in the business world. There's always going to be shifting policy priorities in the not-for-profit world. So change is always a necessity. And getting engaged in either the leadership team or in a board-related role gives you the opportunity to help manage the change, so it's good for all the constituents, balancing the variety of constituents that you're always solving for.
On that note, what are the key things that you've learned about leadership, exercising leadership across all these companies and organizations and not-for-profits over the last many years?
I probably learned many things about leadership. I've certainly been part of some great leadership teams and worked with great leaders. And even in some of the roles I'm in today, I am learning from others that are in leadership roles that help me think about how I can be a better leader. The things that I think are important around being a leader are the same things that are important about being a professional. It's about being prepared, being thoughtful, being respectful, being collegial, and making tough decisions.
Good. Can you tell us what the current challenges are in your current leadership role, this most recent challenge you took on?
Well, I think you're speaking of RIM, and there certainly are lots of challenges. I think that RIM is in a relatively new industry. The mobile phone industry hasn't been around very long, and it's shifted so dramatically. We'll all remember, or most of us will remember, when our BlackBerries weren't even phones. They were simply devices that we read and sent emails on, and now there's so much more as we deal in the mobile computing world. So I think the continuous challenge of the fast-paced evolution and the challenge of the business model and the ecosystems that have arisen around these devices, and who the winners and losers are, and where the money is going to be made, is going to be a continual challenge for the organization. I'm very thrilled with BB10. I'm excited about its launch in the new year, and I said I'm a passionate BlackBerry user, because I think what we have done as a board and as an organization is clearly delineated who BlackBerry people are. And they are the multitaskers, they are the business professionals, they are the people that move and get things done, and I'm passionate about it succeeding. Good.
You're on 3 public boards and 2 not-for-profits. How do you manage all this?
Well, there's I think I'm lucky that the time conflicts are not too bad. I think if you move into a time and place when you're on multiple boards, that There is a preponderance of companies that have December year ends, which means that they go through their quarter end cycles at the same time. In the 3 boards that I'm on, we have 2 that are December, and RIM is a February year end, so I haven't got a lot of natural collisions in terms of conflicts. In terms of the work that I'm doing now, I couldn't do what I'm doing and work full time. So managing the 5 boards that I have in the various committees keeps me busy a fair amount of time, but not as much as when I was working full time.
What words of advice would you have for our newly minted graduates coming out this year in terms of, should they be trying to get leadership positions? How do they make themselves leadership eligible, leadership ready?
Well, I think that no matter what role they take in their first jobs post-graduation, I don't think it has to be a leadership role that is defined as a leadership role. I think they can become change agents and influence at any level of an organization. And that my biggest piece of advice to them would be, find something that they're passionate about, and then always be thoughtful about how it can be made better, and be reactive to the broader world. So I've seen too many people be too insular and not thinking about the broader megatrends, but I think if people are always on the ball about helping their company be positioned for success in the long term, they can continue or they can contribute from the first day that they're there and move up the leadership ranks very quickly.
Oh, that's great. Barbara, we're so proud of you and what you've achieved and what you stand for. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.